Welcome to Cooking with Soy. I'm Karen McWilliams. I'm a clinical dietitian at Madonna Proactive here in Lincoln. I am here to talk about 3 great soy recipes that you can include in a family dinner. And today we'll start with corn muffins. This is a recipe that includes soy milk, soy oil, and also a soy flour. So if I start with the dry ingredients, this recipe you just simply blend in the cornmeal, the wheat flour, the soy flour, and when you use soy flour, typically the recipe would be about 1/4 soy flour and 3/4 wheat to get the right blend for a nice tender product, but also to get a nutty and a high protein content of the soy flour. This is the sugar. And then last I have the baking powder and the salt. And so we'll just blend those together. Soy flour is a product of roasted soybeans that are refined into a powder. It's been used for thousands of years in other parts of the world. In about 1800, soybeans came to America. So we started and are still learning how to incorporate soy recipes. The liquid part of this recipe is soy milk. And in this case, you could use a vanilla. Probably you would use a regular flavored soy milk. Soy milk today is fortified with calcium, just as the same as cow's milk. I have my soy oil. And when you find soybean oils in the grocery, you can look for a soybean oil that's non-hydrogenated, and that is heart healthy. And American Heart Association includes soybean oil as one of the healthy omega-6s that is good for the heart. So we'll add our 2 eggs and simply blend these liquid ingredients. The kids can do this with you. And sometimes in families today, we've forgotten about corn muffins and a very nice side food, a nice party food. We can add a little salsa when we bake it. You can serve it with honey or jelly and sweet at breakfast. There's just many, many ways to use corn muffins or whole grains that are good for the heart and good for the whole diet. So I'm going to just now pour in the liquid ingredients into our dry. And stir these together. Dietitians like to say that half of the grains that we eat in our daily diet should be whole grains. And it gives fiber and fullness. And in this case, as you heard with the soy flour, it adds more protein as well. So it's a little more filling, and we'll stay with you. And you just stir this recipe until all the dry ingredients are moist to keep those corn muffins tender. So we'll bake these corn muffins for approximately 15 minutes at 400 degrees. Well, now that the corn muffins are in the oven, let's make some soup for that family dinner. And today we have a black soybean beef soup. And so I've included the soybeans that are a vegetable soybean, and again, mild and high in flavor. I have ground beef that I've browned previously. You could use an organic, but preferably a really lean ground beef. 1 can of tomatoes that are diced. A can of sliced mushrooms. Chopped celery, which is always great in soup, adds great flavors. Tomato paste. And onion. So when making this soup, you would brown the beef with the onion and the celery. You would add in your other vegetables, and once those had simmered, you would add the broth and water. And this is a low-sodium beef broth. When making bean soups, I sometimes add less ingredients because you can make a nice stew if your family prefers those over soup. So we'll put this on the stove and be ready to make dessert. Our dessert today is a cherry tofu fluff, and I have taken 12 ounces of a firm tofu and fat-free or low-fat cream cheese that you add and blend. You add in almond extract and honey, and so we have previously blended this. When you use tofu, it comes in a water pack, and you want to drain off the water. It comes in silky to a texture of firm or extra firm. And the firm is used more in entrees, used in this kind of product to give it a little more stabilization to hold it up. And the silky would be used in dips and soft sauces, that type of food. So it's a bland flavored food, and we're going to add flavor to it, obviously, even with the almonds and honey. And tofu was made by adding a coagulant and culturing soy milk. So I'm going to stir in a light whipped topping and just fold that in so you keep a little air and fluff to your dessert. And now you can add a fruit filling. In this case, this is a light cherry fruit filling. You can use regular, but if you want to decrease the sugar content. And we will stir this in. And of course, it gives it a great color as well. So we have our dessert, and it's time to check on those muffins. It's about dinner time, and here's our corn muffins. They are ready for that meal you've put together. We've got the soup that I hope helps remind you to incorporate soy into your family recipes and into all kinds of desserts and entrees. And I hope you'll really try these recipes. I hope you enjoy our video today. We've got, last but not least, our desserts. And here's a little topping of graham crackers to finish it off. Nebraska Soybean Board encourages you to eat well and eat soy.